The unknown signal commander Zex-9 was having his morning drink when the alarm started screaming. The blue liquid in his cup shook as his ship's walls vibrated. Something was very wrong. "Commander!" shouted his officer, running into the room. "You need to see this right now." Zex-9 put down his cup and followed the officer to the control room. What he saw on the main screen made his 3 hearts stop beating for a moment. There was a massive red dot on their long-range scanner. It was huge, bigger than anything they had ever seen in space. "What is that thing?" Zex-9 asked, his voice shaking. "We don't know, sir," replied his science officer, a small green alien with 4 eyes. "It appeared 2 hours ago. The energy readings are impossible." "Impossible how?" The science officer looked at his screen again. "Sir, this object is giving off more energy than our entire home planet. Whatever it is, it's not natural." Zex-9 felt a cold fear in his stomach. In his 50 years of space travel, he had never seen anything like this. The object was so big that their computers couldn't measure it properly. "Send a message to the Galactic Council," he ordered. "They need to know about this." Within minutes, messages were flying across the galaxy. Every major alien race received the same shocking news. Something enormous had appeared in the outer rim of space. On the planet Keth-7, the High Council of the Reptilian Empire was having an emergency meeting. "How big did you say this thing was?" asked General Corax, his scales turning dark with worry. "Our best ships are like tiny insects compared to it," replied the messenger. "The energy readings suggest it could destroy entire star systems." The room fell silent. The Reptilian Empire had the strongest military in the galaxy. If they looked like insects next to this object, what chance did anyone have? Meanwhile, on the crystal world of Zetha Prime, the Crystalline Federation was having their own emergency meeting. "Could it be a weapon?" asked Elder Crystal Mind 7. "If it is a weapon, then whoever built it is far beyond our technology," replied their chief scientist. "This object makes our biggest space stations look like toys." The fear was spreading. Across the galaxy, different alien races were all asking the same question. Who could build something so massive? Back on Commander Zex-9's ship, the science team was working hard to learn more about the mysterious object. "Commander, we're picking up strange signals from the object," reported the communications officer. "What kind of signals?" "They're musical, sir, and there are voices speaking in an unknown language." Zex-9 walked over to the communication station. "Let me hear it." The officer pressed a button. Strange sounds filled the control room. There was music with a strong beat and voices singing in a language none of them had ever heard. "This is not a weapon signal," said the science officer, confused. "It sounds like entertainment." Entertainment. Zex-9 couldn't believe it. Something that massive is playing music. The communications officer adjusted his equipment. "Sir, there are hundreds of different signals coming from different parts of the object. Music, voices talking, strange electronic sounds. Are they trying to communicate with us?" "No, sir. It's like they don't even know we're here. They're just doing their own thing, and this made everything even more confusing. If the massive object wasn't a weapon, then what was it? And who could build something so big just for entertainment?" News of the musical signals spread quickly. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. Representatives from dozens of alien races gathered to discuss this mystery. "We have 3 choices," announced the council leader, a wise old alien with tentacles for arms. "We can run away, we can try to communicate, or we can attack first before it attacks us." "Attack?" laughed the reptilian general. "With what?" "Our weapons would be like throwing stones at a mountain." "Then what do you suggest?" asked a bird-like alien from the feathered worlds. "We need to investigate," said the council leader. "Send a small fleet to observe from a safe distance. We need to know what we're dealing with." "And if it's hostile?" asked someone from the back. The room fell quiet. Nobody wanted to think about that possibility. "Then may the stars help us all," whispered the council leader. The decision was made. A mixed fleet of ships from different races would travel to investigate the mysterious object. They had no idea they were about to encounter something that would change their understanding of the universe forever. As the alien ships prepared for their journey, the massive object continued playing its strange music, completely unaware that the entire galaxy was now watching and waiting in fear. First visual contact. 3 days later, the mixed alien fleet arrived at the coordinates. Commander X9 led the group with 12 ships from different races. They stayed far away, using their best telescopes to look at the mysterious object. "Beginning visual scan now," reported the science officer. The main screen flickered, then showed a blurry image. Slowly, the picture became clearer. When the aliens saw what was on the screen, nobody spoke for a full minute. "By the 7 moons," whispered Commander X9, "what is that thing?" The object wasn't just big, it was beyond imagination. It looked like a massive metal city floating in space. The alien ships, which seemed large to them, looked like tiny flies next to it. "Sir, our computers are having trouble measuring it," said the science officer, his voice shaking. "It's at least 1,000 times bigger than our largest space station." Captain Thrix, the reptilian commander of another ship, spoke through the communications system. "This can't be real. Nothing can be built this big." But it was real. The massive structure had strange symbols and markings all over its surface. There were thousands of windows glowing with warm light. Giant weapon systems stuck out from its sides like the spines of a metal beast. "Look at those gun barrels," said Captain Vorth from the Crystalline Federation ship. "Each one is bigger than our entire ship." The alien fleet moved closer, but stayed at what they thought was a safe distance. As they got nearer, more details became visible. "There are smaller ships moving around it," observed the communications officer. "Wait, those aren't small ships. Those are massive fighters, but they look tiny compared to the main structure." Commander X9 felt his knees go weak. If the small fighters were actually massive, then how big was the main ship? "Sir, I'm picking up more of those music signals," reported the communications officer. "And voices. Lots of voices. How many life forms do you estimate are on that thing?" X9 asked his science officer. The science officer worked on his computer for several minutes. When he looked up, his face was pale with fear. "Sir, based on the energy signatures and living space visible, I estimate between 5 and 10 million beings are living on that structure." The communication channel exploded with shocked voices from all the alien ships. 10 million? Shouted Captain Thrix. "That's more than the population of most of our planets." "It's not just a ship," realized Captain Vorth. "It's a flying city, a flying civilization." Commander X9 tried to stay calm, but his hands were shaking. "What kind of beings can build something like this?" "Sir, I'm detecting movement," said the tactical officer. "The massive structure is changing direction." On the screen, they could see the giant ship slowly turning. The movement was smooth and quiet, but the power required to move something that big was unthinkable. "Are they coming toward us?" asked Captain Thrix, panic in his voice. "No, sir. They seem to be following a patrol route. I don't think they've noticed us yet." This was both good news and bad news. Good because they weren't being attacked. Bad because it meant the beings on the massive ship thought the alien fleet was too small to bother noticing. "We need to report this immediately," said Commander X9. "Send an emergency message to the Galactic Council." As the message was being sent, the science officer made another discovery. "Commander, I'm reading the structure's hull material. It's made of metals we've never seen before. Our strongest weapons wouldn't even scratch the surface." "How can you be sure?" asked Captain Vorth. "Because our scanners show the hull is 50 times thicker than the armor on our battleships. And it's made of some kind of super metal that our computers can't identify." The alien commanders looked at each other through their video screens. The fear in their eyes was clear. "What do we do now?" asked Captain Thrix. Before anyone could answer, new alarms started ringing on all the ships. "Sir," shouted the tactical officer, "the massive ship has released smaller vessels. They're moving in our direction." On the screen, they could see dozens of what the aliens thought were small ships leaving the massive structure. But as these ships got closer, the aliens realized they weren't small at all. Each one was still bigger than their own vessels. "Should we run?" asked Captain Vorth. Commander X9 looked at the screen. The unknown ships were moving fast, but not in an attacking formation. "No," he said quietly. "If they wanted to destroy us, we'd already be dead. I think they're just curious about us." "Curious?" Captain Thrix laughed nervously. "We're like insects looking at giants, and you think they're curious about us?" But Commander X9 was right. The approaching ships slowed down and stopped at a respectful distance. They seemed to be studying the alien fleet just as much as the aliens were studying them. For several tense minutes, both groups just watched each other. Then something happened that would change everything. The largest of the approaching ships began broadcasting a message. But this message wasn't in the musical language they had heard before. It was in perfect galactic standard, the language used for communication between all alien races. Unknown vessels, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Human Federation Starship Titan-class Dreadnought Eternal Vigilance. Please identify yourselves. We come in peace. Part 3. The Failed Attack. The alien fleet sat in stunned silence. The massive ship had just spoken to them in perfect galactic standard. But Captain Thrix, the reptilian commander, wasn't thinking about communication. Fear was making him angry. This is a trap, he hissed through the communication channel. They're trying to trick us into getting closer. Captain Thrix, wait, warned Commander X9. They said they come in peace. Peace? Thrix laughed coldly. Nothing that big comes in peace. They're probably planning to conquer our entire galaxy. Captain Vorth from the crystalline ship tried to stay calm. Maybe we should try to talk to them first. But Thrix had already made his decision. No, we attack first before they attack us. It's our only chance. Are you crazy? Shouted Commander X9. Our weapons can't hurt that thing. We won't know until we try, Thrix replied. If we work together, maybe we can damage it enough to escape. Before anyone could stop him, Thrix ordered his ship to charge weapons. The other reptilian ships in the fleet followed his command. Captain Thrix, don't do this, pleaded Commander X9, but it was too late. Thrix's ship fired the first shot. A bright blue energy beam shot across space toward the massive human ship. The other reptilian vessels fired too, sending their strongest weapons at the giant target. The energy beams hit the human ship's shields. For a moment, there was a bright flash of light. Then, nothing happened. The massive ship continued floating peacefully in space. The attacks had not even made it shake. Did we miss? Asked one of the reptilian officers. No, said Thrix quietly, staring at his weapon readings. We hit it directly. The weapons just didn't do anything. Inside the human ship, Captain Sarah Chen was sitting in her command chair when the attacks hit. Captain, we're being fired upon, reported her tactical officer, Lieutenant Martinez. Fired upon? Captain Chen looked surprised. By what? Small alien vessels, ma'am. Approximately 12 ships. Captain Chen looked at the main screen, which showed the tiny alien fleet. Are you sure they're attacking us? I can barely see them. Yes, ma'am. They're using some kind of energy weapons, but the attacks aren't even getting through our basic shields. Captain Chen frowned. Are our shields damaged? Why didn't we feel anything? No damage at all, ma'am. Their weapons are too weak to affect us. It's like throwing rocks at a mountain. In the human ship's engineering room, Chief Engineer Williams was monitoring the systems. Captain, he said through the communication system, the alien weapons are hitting us with about the same power as our coffee machines use. Captain Chen almost laughed. Coffee machines? Yes, ma'am. Their strongest weapons have less energy than what we need to make hot drinks. Back on the alien ships, panic was spreading. Fire again, ordered Captain Thrix. All weapons! The alien fleet unleashed everything they had. Energy beams, plasma cannons, fusion missiles. Their most powerful weapons all hit the human ship at once. The space around the massive vessel lit up like a bright star. When the light faded, the human ship was still there, completely undamaged. This is impossible, whispered Captain Vorth. We just hit it with enough firepower to destroy a small moon. Commander X9 checked his sensors. The ship's shields didn't even drop by 1%. It's like we're not even tickling them. Some of the alien ships tried to retreat, but Captain Thrix wasn't giving up. Keep firing! There has to be a weak spot! For 10 minutes, the alien fleet continued their desperate attack. They fired until their weapons overheated and their energy reserves ran low. Nothing worked. The massive human ship just floated there, taking the attack like it was nothing. Inside the human ship, the crew was getting confused. Captain, said Lieutenant Martinez, the aliens are still shooting at us. Should we return fire? Captain Chen looked thoughtful. Are they damaging anything? No, ma'am. Our shields are at 99.9%. We've lost more shield power from flying through space dust. Then let them finish. Maybe they're just scared and will calm down once they realize we're not a threat. But the alien attacks suddenly stopped. Not because they had calmed down, but because their weapons had run out of power. "Status report," demanded Captain Thrix. "Sir," his weapons officer said sadly, "we've fired everything. Our energy reserves are at 15%. We have no more weapons to fire." The alien fleet floated helplessly in space. They had thrown their best punch, and it had done absolutely nothing. Commander X9 felt sick to his stomach. "We just attacked the most powerful ship in the galaxy, and now they know we're hostile. What do we do now?" asked Captain Vorth, his voice full of fear. Before anyone could answer, the human ship's communication channel opened again. "Alien vessels," came Captain Chen's calm voice. "We noticed you were firing at us. Is there a problem? Are you in some kind of distress?" The aliens couldn't believe it. The humans thought they were asking for help, not trying to destroy them. Captain Thrix finally understood the terrible truth. The humans were so powerful that they didn't even consider the alien attack to be dangerous. To them it was like insects buzzing around their heads. "Commander X9, Thrix said quietly, "I think we just made the biggest mistake in galactic history." "Why?" asked X9, though he was afraid of the answer. "Because now they know we exist, and now they know we tried to kill them." As if responding to his words, new alarms started ringing on all the alien ships. Their sensors showed something that made their hearts stop. The massive human ship was powering up its weapon systems, and these weapons were 1,000 times bigger than anything the aliens had ever seen. Part 4, Humanity's Response. The alien fleet watched in terror as the massive human ship's weapons slowly turned toward them. Each weapon barrel was bigger than their entire ships. The power readings made their instruments go crazy. "Captain Chen," Lieutenant Martinez said inside the human ship, "the aliens have stopped firing. What are your orders?" Captain Sarah Chen looked at the small alien ships on her screen. She felt sad rather than angry. "They're probably just scared, Martinez. Let's try to communicate properly this time." "But ma'am, they did attack us," reminded her tactical officer. "With what?" Captain Chen smiled sadly. "Their weapons couldn't hurt a shuttlecraft. They're obviously frightened. Let's show them we're not monsters." She opened a communication channel to all the alien ships. "Unknown vessels, this is Captain Sarah Chen of the Human Federation. We mean you no harm. We noticed your defensive fire. Are you afraid of something? We can help protect you." Commander X9 couldn't believe what he was hearing. The humans thought the aliens needed protection. "Did she just offer to protect us?" whispered Captain Vorth, "after we attacked them?" Captain Thrix was shaking with fear. "They don't even consider us a threat. To them, we're like children throwing toys." Captain Chen waited for a response, but the aliens were too shocked to speak. She tried again. "We understand first contact can be scary. We're going to power down our weapons to show you we're peaceful." The massive weapon systems on the human ship slowly turned away from the alien fleet. But before they powered down completely, Captain Chen decided to demonstrate something important. "Lieutenant Martinez, target that small asteroid over there. Single pulse minimum power. Ma'am, are you sure?" "Even minimum power might be too much. Trust me. These beings need to understand our capabilities so they won't be afraid of us attacking them by surprise." Martinez targeted a small asteroid about the size of a city floating nearby, firing one pulse beam at 2% power. A thin red beam shot out from one of the human ship's smaller weapons. It hit the asteroid and the rock simply vanished. Not exploded, vanished. There was just empty space where it used to be. The alien fleet watched in absolute horror. "Did that weapon just delete an asteroid?" asked Captain Vorth, his voice barely a whisper. Commander X9 checked his sensors 3 times. "The asteroid is gone. Completely gone. Not even dust particles remain." "And they said that was minimum power," Captain Thrix said, his scales turning white with fear. Inside the human ship, Captain Chen was pleased with the demonstration. "Perfect. Now they understand we could have destroyed them instantly, but we chose not to. This should make them feel safer." It had the opposite effect. The aliens now realized they were dealing with beings who could erase them from existence without even trying. Captain Chen opened the communication channel again. "As you can see, we have strong defenses, but we only use them to protect innocent people. You have nothing to fear from us. Please identify yourselves so we can be friends." The word friends hit the aliens like a shockwave. These incredibly powerful beings wanted to be friends. Commander X9 finally found his voice. This is Commander X9 of the Galactic Council Exploration Fleet. We come in peace." "Wonderful." Captain Chen sounded genuinely happy. "We're always excited to meet new civilizations. Are you the first representatives of your people we've encountered?" "Yes," X9 replied, still shaking. "We detected your ship and came to investigate." "I hope our size didn't frighten you too much," Captain Chen said kindly. "We know we build big ships. It's necessary for long-distance exploration with large crews." Captain Thrix couldn't stay quiet anymore. "How many beings live on your ship?" "Currently, about 8 million people, including families and civilians. The Eternal Vigilance is a deep space exploration vessel. We carry entire communities for long missions." The aliens felt dizzy. 8 million people on one ship? Their largest cities had fewer people than that. "Captain Chen," Commander X9 asked carefully, "how many ships like yours do humans have?" Captain Chen thought for a moment. "Titan-class dreadnoughts. I believe we currently have about 50 active with 20 more under construction." "Why do you ask? 50 ships this powerful?" The aliens realized that humans could conquer the entire galaxy if they wanted to. Are humans a warrior race?" asked Captain Vorth nervously. Captain Chen laughed. "Warriors, oh no. We're explorers, scientists, artists. We only built these big ships because space is dangerous. Pirates, hostile environments, asteroid fields. We needed something that could protect our people during long journeys." "But your weapons," started Captain Thrix, "are purely defensive," Captain Chen explained. "We've learned it's better to be strong and peaceful than weak and helpless. Our weapons keep bad people from hurting innocent civilians." The aliens began to understand. Humans weren't conquerors. They were protectors who happened to be incredibly powerful. "Captain Chen," Commander X9 said slowly, "would humans be interested in joining the Galactic Council? We have many peaceful races who work together. That sounds wonderful. We'd love to meet more friends among the stars." For the first time since the encounter began, the aliens felt hope instead of fear. These powerful humans wanted friendship, not conquest. But then Captain Chen said something that changed everything. "Oh, Commander X9, I should mention something important. We've been monitoring some communications, suggesting there might be hostile forces in this area. Pirates or raiders attacking peaceful worlds. If you know anything about that, we'd be happy to help. The Human Federation has a strict policy about protecting innocent people from bullies." The aliens looked at each other through their communication screens. They all had the same thought: pirates. And raiders across the galaxy had no idea what was coming for them. The balance of power in the galaxy had just shifted completely, and the humans didn't even realize it yet. Part 5. Galaxy changed forever. 2 weeks after the first contact, emergency meetings were happening on every major world in the galaxy. The news had spread faster than light itself. Humans existed, and they were impossibly powerful. On the Reptilian Empire's capital world, General Corax was reading reports with shaking hands. "You're telling me," he said slowly, "that one human ship has more firepower than our entire military?" "Yes, General," replied his intelligence officer, "and they have 50 of these ships." General Corax put down the report. For the first time in his military career, he felt truly afraid. The Reptilian Empire had been the strongest military force in the galaxy for centuries. Now they felt like children with toy weapons. "What's worse, General," continued the officer, "is that they're not even warriors. They're explorers and scientists. This is what they build just to protect themselves while traveling." On the crystal world of Zetha Prime, the Crystalline Federation was having a similar discussion. "The humans have agreed to meet with the Galactic Council," announced Elder Crystal Mind 7. "They want to discuss joining our alliance." "Should we be happy or terrified about this?" asked another elder. "Both," Crystal Mind 7 replied, "but mostly happy. Commander X9's reports suggest they truly are peaceful." Meanwhile, on the Outer Rim worlds, a different kind of reaction was happening. Captain Blackclaw, leader of the Void Pirates, was not happy. His gang had spent years terrorizing peaceful trade routes. Now he was hearing impossible stories about giant human ships that could vaporize asteroids with their weakest weapons. "Boss," said his lieutenant, "maybe we should find a new line of work." "Don't be stupid," Black Claw growled. "These human stories are just rumors to scare us." But deep down, Black Claw was worried. The Void pirates had survived by being stronger than peaceful merchants. If these humans were as powerful as the stories claimed, his days of easy targets were over. On the peaceful world of Haven 3, the reaction was completely different. "Humans want to protect innocent people?" asked Mayor Styx 4, barely believing the news. "That's what they told the Galactic Council," replied the messenger. "They have a policy about helping victims of pirates and raiders." For the first time in years, the mayor felt hope. Haven 3 had been attacked by pirates 6 times in the past year. The local defense force was too weak to stop them. But if these powerful humans really helped innocent people... 3 days later, the Galactic Council meeting took place on the neutral world of Harmony Station. Representatives from 40 different races gathered to meet the humans. When Captain Sarah Chen walked into the council chamber, everyone fell silent. She was just a normal-sized human woman, but everyone knew she commanded a ship that could destroy planets. "Thank you for inviting us," Captain Chen said with a warm smile. "The Human Federation is excited to meet so many peaceful civilizations." Elder Wise Voice, the council leader, spoke carefully. "Captain Chen, we must ask, what are human intentions in our galaxy?" Captain Chen looked surprised. "Intentions? We want to explore, learn, and make friends. Isn't that why everyone travels to space?" "But your military power," began General Korax through a video link, "is only for protection," Captain Chen finished. "We build strong ships because space can be dangerous. Pirates, hostile environments, natural disasters. Our job is to keep our people safe while they explore and help others." Commander X9, who had become something of a celebrity after his first contact report, spoke up. "Captain Chen, what would humans do if they encountered aggressive forces?" Captain Chen's expression became serious. "We protect innocent people, always. If someone is attacking peaceful worlds or hurting civilians, the Human Federation will stop them. That's not negotiable." A chill went through the chamber. The peaceful races felt relief, but everyone understood the message. Bullies and pirates now had something to worry about. "We propose a simple alliance," Captain Chen continued. "Humans will help protect peaceful worlds from raiders and pirates. In return, we'd like to establish trade and cultural exchange. We're always eager to learn from other civilizations." The vote was unanimous. Every peaceful race wanted the humans as allies. Within a month, the effects were visible across the galaxy. The first sign came when the Void pirates attacked a merchant convoy near Kepler Station. This time, the merchants sent a distress call to their new human allies. The Human Federation ship, Defender's Pride, arrived 30 minutes later. Captain Blackclaw took one look at the massive human vessel and surrendered immediately. His entire pirate fleet was escorted to prison without a single shot being fired. Word spread quickly through the criminal underworld. Attacking peaceful people was now a very bad idea. On Haven 3, Mayor Styx 4 watched as a human patrol ship took position near their world. For the first time in years, his people could sleep peacefully. The pirates wouldn't be coming back, but the biggest change was in how different alien races saw each other. Before humans arrived, every race worried about being attacked by stronger neighbors. Now, with humans as protectors, peaceful races could focus on science, art, and exploration instead of building weapons. The Crystalline Federation began sharing their crystal-growing technology. The Reptilian Empire started using their military skills to help with disasters instead of conquest. Even small worlds like Haven 3 began exploring space, knowing they had protection. 6 months after first contact, Captain Chen received a message from the Galactic Council. "Captain," said Elder Wise Voice, "crime across the galaxy has dropped by 90%. Peaceful trade has increased by 300%. Scientific discoveries are happening faster than ever before." Captain Chen smiled. "That's wonderful news. Our mission is to help people live better lives." "Captain, may I ask you something personal?" "Of course." "How did humans become so powerful while remaining so kind?" Captain Chen thought for a moment. "Maybe because we learned that real strength isn't about hurting others. Real strength is about protecting people who can't protect themselves. When you use power to help instead of harm, you become stronger than any weapon. And across the galaxy, alien children who had once feared the darkness of space began to dream of exploring the stars. They knew that somewhere out there, the humans were watching over them, making sure the universe remained a place where peaceful people could live and dream. The age of fear was over. The age of hope had begun. All because a group of scared aliens had accidentally discovered that the strongest warriors in the galaxy were actually the kindest protectors.